Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to start with our new chapter, and the name of the chapter is Our Environment. See, you all are aware that life exists only on the planet Earth. Why? Because of some various conditions, some conditions which are supporting the life. Okay, and what are these physical conditions that is supporting the life on Earth? That is temperature, air, water, soil, and some more may be there which are life supporting. Okay, so due to these favorable factors, what happens? Different types of plants and animals, they are flourishing on Earth. Is it or not? So continuity of life on Earth is the result of interaction of these physical factors with the living world. So interaction is there. How the interaction is there? When the organisms are interacting with their physical things that is happening on the earth or physical world, like temperature, air, soil, inanimate things. So these living beings, in which plants and animals they come, and physical factors, living organisms as well as the physical factors, they together make the environment. What do they make? Environment. So what is environment? Environment is actually derived from a word called environ. Environ means to encircle or to surround. Okay, to encircle or to surround. Now, what is the definition of environment? The physical and biological world where we live constitutes our environment. Okay, how to define it? That it can be defined as the physical and the biological world where we live in. Okay, so if I talk about an organism, so whatever its immediate surroundings are present, that will only make the environment of the organism. Okay, in that both two types can come. It can be living components as well as non-living components. Means the immediate surrounding is made up of either living or component or the non-living component. Okay, now these living components or non-living components, as we said, that they make the immediate surroundings, and immediate surrounding is called environment. So technically speaking, what does this living component means and what does this non-living component means? Living component means that they are part of biotic component. We call them biotic component. While and the non-living part or the physical things that we are talking about, which are required for an organism to survive, is called abiotic component. Okay. So the interaction, there is a harmonious interaction between or interdependent between the biotic as well as the abiotic components. So this interdependent interaction among organisms as well as with abiotic component maintains a balance in nature. What is it maintaining? It's maintaining a balance. So this balance we are going to study in various aspects. So first thing that we are going to study about our environment is ecosystem. What we are going to talk about? Ecosystem. What do you mean by ecosystem? What is ecosystem? See, these things are not new to you. Earlier you have read about these concepts in previous classes also. Ecosystem. What do you mean by ecosystem? It can be defined as the structural and functional unit of the biosphere comprising living organisms and their non-living environment, which interact by means of food chains and biogeochemical cycles, which is resulting in the energy flow. Okay, between whom? Biotic diversity and material cycling to form a stable self-supporting system is called the ecosystem. So let us again pen it out. What is ecosystem? Again I am speaking. Listen very carefully. It can be defined as the structural. What is it? Structural means it makes the structure structural, functional. It is the structural and functional unit of the biosphere. Okay, biosphere, which is made up of living organism, made of living organism, living organisms and their non-living environment, and their non-living environment. Okay, environment which interact by means of interacting by means of what? Food chains. What else? Biogeochemical cycles. What do you mean by biogeochemical? Various cycles that are taking place, like nitrogen cycle, oxygen cycle and all. Biogeochemical cycles resulting in the energy flow. Okay, resulting in the energy flow. Okay, makes our environment. Okay, to form a, it forms a to, or I'll write here, to form a stable, self-sustaining or supporting system is called ecosystem. Okay, so how the ecosystem exists? See, this term was actually introduced by Tinsley. The Tinsley coined the term ecosystem, and he told that two basic processes takes place in the ecosystem. And what are they? Cycling of the material, means the exchange of material between living beings and the environment to maintain continuous supply of the materials. Okay, so that it can be supplied to living beings for stability of life on earth, and these are called biogeochemical cycles. As I am telling you right now, nitrogen cycle, oxygen cycle, like water cycle is also there, how the regulation of water takes place. Then another factor on which the basic process of ecosystem depends is flow of energy. Okay, how the energy is trapped by green plants and then from the sun, and then it is passed on to other organisms in the form of food chain. Okay, so these are the two factors or the two basic processes which are involved in ecosystem. What are they? Cycling of material, and the second one is flow of energy. Okay, now we are going to discuss about types of ecosystem. How many types of ecosystem are there? See, ecosystem, they can be of various types. It depends upon the duration. Okay, types of ecosystem. So the question can be asked in the exam also. Give example of. See, on the basis of their nature, on the basis of nature, what can be the basis of nature of the ecosystem? It can be natural, means existing in the nature, natural ecosystem, and second one is artificial, that is man-made. Okay, it can be on the basis of their nature, whether it is natural, whether it is artificial. So if it is a natural ecosystem, then means the ecosystem is operated in nature by themselves without any human interference. Okay, so what are the natural ecosystems? The ecosystem thriving in the nature without interference of human beings. Examples are like forests, grassland, desert, oceans, seas. These can be the example of the natural ecosystem. Okay. Then artificial ecosystem. What are these? These are maintained by man and therefore we call them man-made or the artificial ecosystem. Okay. In this what happens, the man or the human being keeps on disturbing the natural balance by addition of energy and planned manipulations. Okay, means he is going to manipulate and he is going to incorporate his own ideas and then form an ecosystem. So what are the examples of this ecosystem? Artificial ecosystem, which is planned and manipulated by human beings. Okay, such type of ecosystem are known as artificial ecosystem. So what can be the examples? Like gardens, ponds, orchards, fields where the crops are being grown, or we can say, don't say fields, then we can write croplands, okay, etc. So such type of ecosystem are known as artificial ecosystem. Okay, so this was on the basis of the nature. Fine. Then next can be on the basis of their duration, like temporary ecosystems or permanent ecosystem, like the ones which are short-lived, and they can be man-made or they can be natural also, like we create some protozoans or culture in the laboratory, that is temporary ecosystem. Then permanent ecosystem, just like lake, forest, means they are self-supporting ecosystem and maintaining themselves in the nature for longer durations. Okay, same way on the basis of the size also we can have some ecosystems. Okay, on the basis of the size there are two types of ecosystem: small ecosystem and large ecosystem. Let us take example of small ecosystem, like some stone is lying or a brick is lying. If we flip it over, under that we are going to see that some insects are living. So don't you think that it is an ecosystem? Because they are living over there, they are completing their life cycle over there in their just surroundings. So it is an example of small ecosystem. Same way, flower pot, the flower pot or the vase in which the flower has been inserted and some water is there. So some insects are going to live there also. So that is also an type of ecosystem which is very small. Then large ecosystems. The large ecosystems, like which are spread in large areas, they are known as large ecosystem. Example, the ocean, forest, desert, etc. These are the examples of the large ecosystems. Okay, now we also call them, like if small ecosystem we call them micro ecosystems and we call them macro ecosystems. These are micro ecosystems and this is macro ecosystem. Okay, so examples. So the question can be asked on the basis of the size, on the basis of their duration, or the basis of their nature. Okay, now let us come to the next concept, and that is component of ecosystem. What makes the ecosystem? Like in the beginning of this chapter, we had learnt about it, we read about it. Components ecosystem. Okay, what makes the ecosystem? See, there are two types of components that make an ecosystem. Okay, there are many, but they have been grouped into two main types. What are they? Abiotic and biotic components. Okay, abiotic components and biotic components. So abiotic comprises of all the non-living components or the factors, and biotic components are made up of living organisms. So let us first discuss about abiotic components. Abiotic components are related to some particular components, just like inorganic substances, now what does it mean, inorganic substances? The substances which are in the form of different elements, the compounds, and they make the main abiotic component of the earth. They occur in the form of compounds which are dissolved in water, in the soil, or in free state. Okay, just like if I talk about carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, such type of, or calcium, phosphorus, these are the inorganic substances, and their compounds, just like salts are there, water is there, such type of substances. These are the compounds, and compounds like salts or water, and some more gases are there, etc. Okay, fine. The second one is organic compounds. Organic compounds means what? What are the composition of, what are the things which are making or falling under this category? Substances. Organic substances, they are including like the carbohydrates. Okay, then comes carbohydrates are there, the proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, etc. Okay, they are present in the living organisms, but when the dead organic matter is being broken down by action of decomposers, then they start releasing or converting them into inorganic compounds. Okay, and this keeps on recycling in the nature. Fine. Then next is third factor is climatic factors, and these climatic factors are made up of what? They are like light, temperature, humidity, rainfall, or the moisture that is present, rainfall, etc. Okay, such type of factors which make the climatic factor. Okay, so they also what kind of soil is there, and what is the topography of the particular place, and minerals, what is the pH of that particular place where we are talking about, is making the climatic factors. So this is about the abiotic components. Now we will study about the biotic components. Okay, this was about abiotic, that the ecosystem consists of. Now if we discuss about the biotic component, then it is a like very vast concept. In biotic components, we are talking about all type of living organisms. The living organisms which are existing in the nature. Now, these living organisms which are present in an ecosystem, they form the biotic component. Now, regarding the mode of obtaining food, the organisms occurring in an ecosystem are classified On the basis of this, the classification is done into three main categories. And what are the three main categories? They are producers, first category is producers, then comes the consumers, and third one is decomposers. Okay. So what do you mean by producers? The producers are the organisms which are going to produce food on their own in some particular conditions. Okay. In the presence of some conditions and because of some inorganic substances. They convert these inorganic substances into the organic compounds. Okay. So in producers, which organisms come? The green plants, phytoplanktons, algae, some bacteria also, etc. Okay. In presence of sunlight, what happens? There is sunlight and then chlorophyll. They convert inorganic substances into organic food. Okay, organic substances. Like what they make? They make glucose or the carbohydrate. So what is the chemical reaction involved in photosynthesis? That is 6 CO2 plus 6 molecules of water. In presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, they make glucose and oxygen is released. Okay. Now, this oxygen is of no use to plant and it is added to the atmosphere and it is improving the quality of air, or it is purifying the air. So such type of organisms which produce food on their own, okay, that is, they convert inorganic substances into organic substances. We call them autotrophs. Autotrophs. Okay. Auto means self. Trophs means synthesizing food in their body. Okay. And they utilize solar energy and what? And chemical energy in the form of chlorophyll. Okay. They are converting solar energy into chemical energy and storing them in the form of glucose in their parts of the plants. So such type of organisms are called producers. Now let us come to consumers. Now what are consumers? Consumers are again a category of organisms which cannot produce their food on their own but depend on other agencies for their food. Consumers, the second category of biotic components. Okay. Consumers, what are they? These are mainly the animals which are unable to synthesize their food and depend on other organisms for their food requirement. Maybe other animals, maybe other plants, maybe both. Okay. So therefore, what do? They utilize materials and energy stored by the producers or eat other organisms. Okay. So we also call them heterotrophs. Hetero, Heterotrophs. Heterotrophs. Okay. Heterotrophs are the consumers. They come in various categories. And what are their categories? First category is primary. What is the first category? It is primary or first order consumers. Okay. Primary or first order consumers means they include all those animals which depend directly on plants. Okay. Or we also call them herbivores. Herbivores because they depend on plants for their food requirement. Fine. So we call them herbivores. We also call them primary or first order consumers. Okay, they feed on plants and they are also, what are the examples of this category? Just like cattle. Any other example that comes in your mind? The insects like grasshopper, and many more, etc. Let me write here. Snail is there, mice, rats, hare. All these come in the category of what? First order consumers, or primary consumers, or herbivores. Then second condition is secondary consumers. Okay. Then comes in the category of consumers, there is secondary or second order consumers. So what makes secondary or second order? See, these include the animals which feed on the flesh of herbivores. Feed on flesh of herbivores. Means they are not eating grass or certain plant products, but eating those organisms which are herbivores. Okay. So in this, what are the examples? The examples are like cats, dogs, foxes. Okay. So these are bugs or water beetles or frogs, small fish. These come under the category of secondary or second order consumers. Then comes the third one, the tertiary or third order consumers. Okay. Now, whom they depend on? They are depending on they feed on secondary consumers, or we can say that they are larger carnivores. They are larger carnivores, and they're also called. We also call them tertiary or third order consumers. And the common examples are large fish. Okay, the examples of them are large fish or water birds, etc. Okay, so they are larger carnivores. And the last one, many more we can include, like wolves are there, or you can say snakes are there. Wolves, snakes, etc. They come in the category of third order or tertiary. Then last category of this is quaternary. 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 Okay, quaternary or fourth order organisms. Okay, now in this, or the consumers, in this, these are the top level of the largest carnivores, which feed on secondary carnivores or the tertiary consumers. And the examples of this category are tiger, lion, okay, or like very large fishes which are present in the water, hawks. These are the examples of the quaternary or fourth order consumers. Okay, in any food chain, these consumer terminate the food chain. Okay, they are also known as top carnivore, and it is the largest carnivore of the food chain. These are not eaten by anyone, but they die on their own. Nobody is going to hunt tiger and eat it. It will die on its own and will decompose and become part of the terrestrial ecosystem. Okay, so this is how we can discuss about the consumers. So I wrap up here today. Tomorrow in the next lecture we are going to study decomposers and then other types of some consumers. Thank you.